Pisces, what's up, darling? It's your girl D here with 8th House Energy, and I'm here to do a astrology read for you for the month of August. I hope all is well with everybody. If you're familiar with the channel, welcome back. Oops, hold on. Welcome back. If you're new to the channel, hello. Hopefully everybody is subscribed and you hit the notification bell. That way you'll know when I post. For those of you who are familiar with the channel, I'm doing things a little bit different. This is the first time I'm doing astrology read for you, but I will be doing it monthly. Moving on, where I'm just doing a reading for you based on the planetary alignments. So you'll get this monthly at the beginning of every month because we'll go through where the planets are in your chart and what you may be dealing with this month as a result of where the planets are for you. It's going to be a general read, so take what resonates and leave the rest. This channel is going to now be dedicated to astrology based readings. I will be doing, using some tarot cards for some of the readings, but this one there's not going to be any tarot cards. All right, this is just me basically reading off the planetary alignments to you. All right, so in reference to this channel, the next reading I'm going to do for you would be the Jupiter retrograde, Chiron retrograde reading in Aries. And then after that, I'm going to be doing the Uranus retrograde reading for you. And then we'll also be doing your North Node readings. So that's what we're doing here on this channel for the month of August. I do have a second channel that I've put together for those of you who like the regular tarot card readings that I do. That channel is called Mini Styles. The link for that is in the box below the video. So make sure you subscribe to that because that's where you're going to get the God and Goddesses readings that I do for you monthly. That's where you're going to get the Silent Enemies readings. And that's where you're going to get the True Intentions readings. I may have some other tarot card readings that I throw in there as well. So I'm dividing the channel up. So a lot of people like astrology and are into it. And some people are not. They're just not feeling it. So I didn't want to alienate or isolate those who came to my channel because they like the tarot readings. So I'm giving you the best of both worlds. So if you like both, subscribe to both. Again, the channel Mini Styles that I do the other readings on, the link for that is going to be in the box below the video. So let's get to your reading, Pisces. Let me know if you notice some issues with the audio. I got a new phone. I know I did some readings for other signs the last couple of days, and I've been getting some comments about the sound and the video being glitchy. I really don't know what's causing that. The only thing I could think of is the fact that I had my power cord in while I was recording. Well, I took it out today, so hopefully your video will come out clear. I know Capricorns came out a bit glitchy. I think Scorpios came out a bit glitchy as well. So I do apologize, but if those are placements you want to watch for, please try to get what you can out of the video. But I'm aware of it, and I'm working diligently to try to fix that so it doesn't occur in the future. All right, so let's get into your reading, Pisces. So let's start with your first house. Your first house is how you present yourself to the world, who you are, the way you stand your ground, how you let the world know that you are in the building, right? We have Neptune there in retrograde. Now, before I even get into all of that, just know that we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I believe there's 5 planets in retrograde by the end of this month, and then we have Chiron, which is an asteroid. So that's a six planetary bodies in retrograde by the end of this month. That's a lot going on. When planets are in retrograde, it's all about reflecting within, right? When they're going direct, we want to look at it in a sense of the energy that's coming towards you or the energy that you're pushing out to others. But when a planet is in retrograde, it's all about self-reflection, what's going on within you. An easy way for me when I look at my chart or I look at other people's charts and I'm looking at retrograde planets, what I usually do is I look at who, what, when, where, and why, right? So with Neptune being in your first house, that's your ruling planet, and it's in retrograde, we're looking at who, what, when, where, why of the energies of Neptune. What's the energies of Neptune? Well, I did a Neptune retrograde reading for you all, so make sure you check that out. Go into the Pisces 2022 playlist, and you can recap on that and see if any of that energy that I read for you, I think that was about a month ago, see if it's resonating with you now, right? Neptune's going to be in retrograde until about December 3rd, so we have plenty of time to play with the reflective energies of Neptune. To me, Neptune, in my words, Neptune represents the God in us, the godly, spiritual, highest form in us. But it also represents the most demonistic energy within us as well. Um, Neptune is all about the creative imagination, it's all about your intuitive and psychic abilities, right? And it's very mysterious. It's a very mysterious energy. It's also known as an illusionary energy. Well, when Neptune is in retrograde, to me, I equate that to you removing the rose-colored glasses and seeing things for what they are, removing that illusionary energy that Neptune usually has. The illusionary energies could be a situation where you're fooling yourself about something, or where people are trying to pull the wool over your eyes about something. It could be anything, okay? But with Neptune in retrograde, that wool or those rose-colored glasses are broken and the wool is removed. And now people are seeing you for who you truly are, and you're seeing them for how they truly see you, since it's in your first house, right? And so, of course, these energies are going to come out in a very Piscean way, right? So it's like whatever, mystery people have been trying to fool you as far as their intentions towards you, you're seeing through them. Not that you couldn't see through them before, but maybe in the past, before Neptune went into retrograde, maybe you wanted to see the best in a person, because Neptune does deal with idealism, and wanting to see, maybe you wanted to see the glass half full with these people for whatever reason. Maybe you liked them, you were rooting for them, you wanted things to work out. But now you're realizing with these people that you've been connecting with, not all of them, but some of them, you're seeing them for who they truly are, the good, the bad, the indifferent. It could be something as simple as these people were hiding from you the fact that, they really love you, and you may now be able to really see that, because they can't hide it anymore. It's because your intuitive abilities that Neptune already blesses you with are more enhanced when Neptune is in retrograde. So this is why we're able to take the rose-colored glasses off, because our sensory, our psychic abilities are more enhanced. They're more intuitive, and you can pick up on these things more so than you did before. And it's not even a matter of these people confessing anything. It's just a matter of you like, something's not right. My intuition is telling me, or something's telling me I need to pay attention to why this person is saying what they said. They may have said this to you 1,000 times before, but now all of a sudden with Neptune in retrograde, you're really starting to pay attention to the, to what they've been saying to you. It's starting to be clear to you what it is that they're saying or why they're saying it. Well, because we got this in your first house, this is the way you present yourself. So maybe you may have been coming off as a mysterious type of individual, and now maybe people are seeing you, for who you are. Not that that's necessarily bad. For some of you, if you were doing dirt, it could be. So if you were out here as a Pisces doing negative things, doing negative energy, or a Pisces who was out here doing some dirt, the wool is being pulled from everybody's eyes, and people are going to be seeing people for who they are. Somebody going to jail. I do know that. Somebody may be deciding, what, I've been, dealing too much in drugs and alcohol. I need to go get myself checked in. And if it's not you, then it could be somebody close to you or around you. All right. But there's some reckoning that is going on with a lot of Piscean people, in reference to whatever it is that they're dealing with the reality of. Also keep in mind with Neptune retrograde, that's an energy of self-pity, self-loathing. People who were out here doing dirt, it's like time, the Neptune and retrograde energy is you made your bed, now it's time to lay in it. And we also know it deals with karma. So good, bad, or indifferent, Piscean energy, or wherever we have Pisces in our chart, is where we're getting our karma, or where we're dealing with karmic energies. Okay. So keep that in mind. All right. So just be careful of the people coming towards you. Use your intuitive abilities as you always do. And just make sure that people are not, fooling you, using what it is that you like, or trying to appeal to you to pull the wool over your eyes. Your second house has Jupiter retrograde in it and Chiron retrograde in it. Now, Jupiter is your ancient ruler. Jupiter is all about the spiritual journey you go on, in reference to tapping into your higher self. Some of you are going to be meditating a lot more, or tapping into your higher self a lot more than you ever have before. You hear the sirens? Some of you may need to do that, right? Because there could be some things that you need to make a decision on, or some changes that you need to make, and you really need to go within to really assess the things that you've been doing and to confirm if these things are really in your highest good, which is Neptune in its highest form and Jupiter in its highest form, or if these are things that are serve as a detriment to you, right? Which is Jupiter in its lowest form, Neptune in its lowest form, right? Because Jupiter in its highest form is good luck, good fortune, on a spiritual journey, expansion, growth. Okay, in its negative form, it's greed, it's envy, um, it's a self-righteous type of energy, not being concerned about others, not learning from the lessons, things like that. And you also have Chiron there in retrograde too. Now, Chiron has to do with the fact that we need to learn to live with the wounds that we've experienced in life. Some wounds don't heal 100%, but we still got to get up and keep it moving. We still got to get up and do what it is that we were brought to this planet to do. So with Jupiter in retrograde and Chiron in retrograde in your second house of Aries, this is all about you persevering and learning about the lessons that you've been through, the lessons that have caused you some type of pain or heartache, and being able to just, get yourself up, dust yourself off, and keep it moving. Yeah, that wound is going to be there, but you can't just fall out and just sit there. You got to get up and move. You got to get up and keep going. You got to keep fighting. And so I'm going to do a reading for you guys with Jupiter retrograde, Chiron retrograde, and Aries in your second house later in the month. So we'll tap into that in more detail. Let's move on to your third house, because this is where Taurus is, and that's the North Node. So the North Node is in Taurus right now. You also got Uranus there in retrograde, right? So again, more reflective energy. Who, what, when, where, and why in reference to Uranus. Uranus is a planet of individuality, a planet of uniqueness. It's the planet of science, right? It's the planet of forward movement, the planet of the internet, okay? Technology. And so it's also a planet of surprise, the element of surprise, whether it's a good surprise or one that's not so good, that's all subjective. But when Uranus is in retrograde, we're looking at all of these things from a who, what, when, where, why perspective. Why did this happen? When did it happen? So if there was some type of something that caught you off guard, it's like, okay, it happened now. How am I dealing with it? Why did this happen? How could it happen? Sometimes there's no answer with Uranus. It just comes and goes. It's a very quick energy. So it's like, it comes so quick that it's like now you have to deal with the pieces. So for some of you, with this being in your third house, some of you may find that you have to move unexpectedly. Some of you may find out that your financial situation, because it deals with Taurus, and Taurus deals with your money and your comfortability and your indulgences in life. Some of you feel that, may find that that's interrupted in some way. Some of you may come into something unexpectedly. So playing the lotto, for example, you may come into some comfort. Also with the third house, we're dealing with your lifestyles, the way you like to live your life. So that could change for some of you unexpectedly. Your lifestyle, the way you live, the people you hang out with, who you hang out with, that may have already occurred for you, but it may not for some, because Uranus doesn't go into retrograde until the end of August, and it's going to be in retrograde the rest of the year. So you may not even experience these changes yet, right? But this is something that may occur because we're dealing with your third house, which is your ideas, your views, the lifestyle choices you make, why you choose to hang out with these type of people versus those. Also your thought process. Also deals with your siblings, okay, your cousins. All right, but I'm going to do a reading for you at the end of the month to tap more into that energy as well. But also keep in mind right now, Mars is in your third house. And wherever Mars is, Mars likes to do battle. Mars is on guard. Mars is very strategic, and Mars wants it right now. And Mars can be very, it could go from 0 to 100 as far as your temperament. So you may be at war with some friends. All of a sudden, out of the blue, you may find out that you and your friends are getting into it and you don't understand why. It could have a lot to do with you actually seeing these people for who they are based on that Neptune in your first house energy. And with Jupiter and Chiron and retrograde in your second house, you may be realizing that you took a risk with people who were not who they said they were. Or you're finding out that these people are not worth your time and effort. They don't appreciate and respect you, right? Or they're trying to steal from you or take from you in some way, shape, or form. And so now you're rebelling against that. or these people might just switch up on you out of a sudden, all of a sudden, out of the blue. So be careful of the people that you're hanging around with. They may see that you have comforts that they want, and so they could be, scheming on you for that. So just watch your back with the people that you're around. And this could even include family members, such as siblings and cousins, okay, external family. But we'll do a reading on that at the end of the month. Your fourth house is where Gemini is. Mars is going to be moving into that house on August 20th. So you may not feel these energies quite yet, but you could also be feeling them now because Mars is a very quick, fiery energy. So your fourth house has to do with your emotions and feelings. I feel like you're dealing with a lot with family. Some of you are going to be dealing with a lot in reference to family and your personal feelings or people close to you and how they are dealing with you, especially with all these planets in the first half of your chart in retrograde. Jupiter, Neptune, Chiron, Uranus. This is your first through your fourth house, your first through your third house, right? So that's all about you and your self-worth, your self-esteem, your money-making potential, the people you hang around, your lifestyle, the choices that you make in reference to, your comfortability and how you move about in the world. All of these energies are coming into play, and it's a self-reflective energy in these areas of your life, all right? So with Mars moving into your fourth house is all about your family structure, things that have been passed on from one generation to the next, things you may have noticed in your family. Some of you may be getting into heated discussions, or you may notice temperaments changing in reference to you and your emotions because of you dealing with these types of people and seeing them for who they truly are. So you got to be careful with your temperament. Don't let these people put you in a position where you end up in jail, okay? Because you're ready to knock somebody out because you see that they were playing you. Be careful of that, okay? Please. But again, if you are a negative-sided Pisces and if you've been doing dirt, people are starting to see you for who you are, all right? You're being warned to change your ways because, again, with Neptune and retrograde in your first house, you could be ending up in situations that are not good for you, right? You could be going to jail. Some of you, it could be that people are finding out that you have an addiction problem and you may have to come to terms with the fact that you have an addiction problem. Some of you, this could be something that is generational. Maybe you come from a family that is dealing with that generational curse of alcohol and addiction, okay? And that's something that you are trying to fight and get out of. Maybe it's not you. Maybe you're married to someone, or maybe your child is dealing with this. Maybe it skipped you and it's, your children are dealing with this. Or maybe your children are dealing with people who may have addictions and things like that. But I feel like if it's not about that when it comes to family, it could just be that your lifestyle is something that maybe your family members don't agree with, or maybe they have an issue with, or maybe you have an issue with the way they do things. Now that you're matured and you're looking back at it, you see that there's some things that, oh, well, my grandmother did that, my great-grandmother did that, my aunt did that, and you may decide, okay, I'm not with that anymore, or okay, this is what has been going on, so I understand it now. I know better how to relate to it and connect with it and deal with it. So that's what's going on with the fourth house. It doesn't have to be exactly that, but these are some things you could be dealing with. I recommend with this reading, you come back and check it out at the end of the month to see if some of these things resonate with you. Oh, I don't know if I mentioned it earlier, but let me know if you hear any issues with the sound as far as the video going in and out. I don't know if the siren energy has anything to do with that, but I'm going to see your fifth house. All right, so the fifth house has to do with your love affairs, okay, your situationships. So maybe that was setting the tone for that. I don't know. We're going to see what's up, Pisces. But with your fifth house, you're dealing with your love affairs, your situationships. These are basically love relationships that don't last. They're there for the fun of it, or you're in it for the fun of it, okay? Some of you, there's not much going on there, but some of you are emotionally in tune to that. So you're keeping an eye out, just making sure that you're not being used, making sure that you keep the communication open, and that you know that you're in a situation and you know what it is, all right? Let's move on to your sixth house. This is where Leo is at. This is where the hot light, the spotlight is for you for the next, couple of months. Could be even longer, with the new moon in Leo and the Lionsgate portal both happening on August 8th. All right. Um, your sixth house has to do with your patterns, your routines, the things you do every day. What time you get up? You get up the same time every day? What do you do when you get up? You get up, when you get up, do you go hop in the shower or hop in the tub? After that, do you go make breakfast? After that, do you go to work? Do you drop the kids off? What are your routines? What do you do every day? Right? Also has to do with what you do every day at work. The sixth house also has to do with your health, how you take care of yourself, part of your daily routine. Do you work out every day? Do you do yoga? Do you jump rope? What do you do? Do you not do anything? It also has to do with your pets, okay? So some of you may be drawn to go to the zoo. Some of you may be drawn to go to a safari. You might be connecting with lions more so now, or just interested in the lion energy and the symbolism of the lion. You hear the fire? I'm gonna let that cool down for a minute because I don't know if you can hear me over that. But the new moon energies in Leo and the Lion's Gate. For those of you who are not familiar, you may want to just Google that a bit. Google the Lion's Gate portal, but just for a quick and dirty version of it, real quick and real simplified, is that there's a planetary body, or it's a star called Sirius. Some people think that the sun is the largest, brightest star in our solar system, but it is not. Sirius is 20,000 times larger than the sun, and it's going to be aligned with the sun and the planet Earth in such a way that it opens up the heavens. It's believed that it opens up the heavens and allows for you to manifest and to tap into that creative Leo energy, so that you're able to manifest and get the benefits of the spiritual gateways opening up, tap into the higher realms, connect with the higher beings, like your ancestors and things like that, people who look out for you. So you want to try to tap into that energy, but look more into it and look at how it will relate to you in reference to your daily routines, your patterns, things like that. Maybe that's just more about you taking care of yourself, because Leo is a solitary energy. It's all about the self, right? So maybe as some of you are getting into a situation or a position where you're starting to focus more on taking better care of you in any way, shape, or form, setting up rituals, routines, and patterns that focus on vitality, because Leo deals with the energy of vitality, good life, good health, good wealth. So some of you may want to check into that, or you're already probably thinking about these things because you're very intuitive and you probably feel these energies already. It could also be about your work environment. Maybe you're going to decide, okay, well, maybe I want to bring a plant and put a plant on my desk to, help with the carbon dioxide exchange, the oxygen carbon dioxide exchange, so that you get better air quality in your office. So maybe you're thinking about putting a plant on your desk. Maybe you're thinking about bringing some crystals and putting them on your desk at work. Maybe you're thinking about taking a bowl of water and just putting that on your desk, to help with the moisture in the air, but just to create some type of healthier environment. Maybe you're thinking about getting better chairs. Maybe you're a boss and you want better chairs for your employees, or you want better what do they call it? Ergonomically correct desks. Those desks where you can stand up and work. Maybe you're considering doing that because maybe you sit all day at work. But maybe you're just trying to find better ways to improve your health. Maybe take care of your pets as well. So maybe you're looking at that. Maybe some of you are considering getting a pet. All right. Maybe some of you are considering getting a cat. Okay. Or maybe you have a cat and, maybe your cat's going to be active. Pay attention to your cats during this season, this Leo season with this new moon in Lionsgate portal. I'm curious. I don't have a cat, but if I did, I would definitely be paying attention to their behavior and their actions to see if there's anything different. Cats are very intuitive, right? The Egyptians used to worship cats because cats are able to see spirits, and they're able to connect and see entities that we can't. So pay attention to your cats. They may be able to see with this gateway and this portal opening up. They may be able to pick up on some energies that that you may not have picked up on before, or they may be more acute or more attuned to those energies now with the Lionsgate portal coming about. Okay, I'm curious to hear about that. But let's move on to your seventh house. This is the house of your partnerships of all kinds. How you relate to others in any type of relationship, whether it's a business relationship, whether it's a family dynamic, whether it's a friendship dynamic, whether it's your intimate partner or your lover. It's how you relate and how you keep the balance in these relationships. In that house, you have Mercury there. Mercury came in there on the 4th. And with Mercury there, this is coming out in a very Virgoian way. So you're definitely going to be really analyzing your relationships and really looking at them and understanding, trying to understand the communication between the language between you and these people and the connections that you have. So you're going to be looking at these relationships, looking at how you connect with these people, looking at why you connect with these people. What is it that you understand about them? What is it that they understand about you? Because again, this is a direct reflection of the Neptune retrograde in your first house, right? So your first house is the opposite polarity of your seventh house. So you're going to be really analyzing these people with that Virgo Mercury energy to see that for some of you, these people have been pulling the wool over your eyes with that Neptune retrograde energy. Or some people may be feeling that way about you. So if people are starting to distance themselves from you, or they're starting to feel indifferent towards you or acting different towards you, it could be because there could be some subconscious energy that you're giving off that you may not realize you're giving off, where people are seeing something in you that they may not have seen before. It could be a sense where they're pushing themselves away from you as a result of that, or they could be wanting to get closer to you as a result of that. But make sure, and I stress, those who are trying to get closer to you, you examine why. Pay attention to these people's actions. Pay attention to their behavior. Pay attention to the way they communicate with you, what they say to you, and why they say it to you. I feel like you're going to be doing that with Mercury and Virgo in your seventh house because, again, you're going to be sensing certain things about people that maybe you had around you all this time, and you're like, I never really noticed that about them, but I'm peeping that now. And I don't understand why I didn't see it before, but I see it now, and I'm not feeling it. Or I never peeped that before. I'm digging that. I'm gonna, pay more attention to this because I didn't see this before. I didn't realize this about this person before. So either way, you need to pay attention, and you're probably gonna be doing that. Now, your eighth house is where Libra is. We don't have any planets there right now, so I won't tap into that. But we will talk about your ninth house because that's where the South Node in Scorpio is. So your ninth house is the house of your higher realm, your higher mind, right? Your spiritual mind. It's also the house of like the basic things like publishing, writing, the spiritual journey that you go on as far as the lessons that you've learned and how you acquire wisdom. How do you acquire wisdom? By experience. Intelligence is by learning. You can grasp and gather intelligence by reading or by watching other people and learning not what to do or what to do based on what other people do. But wisdom comes from you actually experiencing it and living it. And so the ninth house deals with the journey that you go through to acquire and gain that experience. Okay, that experience puts you in a position to say, okay, these are my views. These are my spiritual views in life. Here's my philosophical views in life. Here's my spiritual views. Here's my religious views, right? And so as a result, those are the views that you live by. Those are the views that you judge what you do and what you don't do. Those are the energies that you look at when you're judging who you deal with and who you don't deal with. And you got the Scorpio South Node there. All right. Scorpio is a very transformative energy. That's an energy that results in a lot of change. So some of you are changing your spiritual views. If you don't have spiritual views, you're changing your religious views. If you don't have either, you're changing your philosophical views, right? And you're doing that based on what you've experienced, the wisdom you've gained. And so you take that knowledge and you use that South Node energy because that's what you're doing. You're taking that knowledge you've learned from your past life or your childhood, because both of those represent past lives. You take the knowledge that you've learned and you use that to catapult you towards your North Node energy, which is where Taurus is. Now, Taurus is an energy of peace. It's an energy of indulgence, the finer things in life, blessings of abundance, prosperity, wealth, right? And so you're taking the energies that you learned from Scorpio, which is in your ninth house, your house of wisdom, and you're tapping into your third house. Now, in your third house, that's where Uranus is at in retrograde. So you may be making some surprise changes, okay? because of the energy that's in. Now, when you don't make the changes that you're supposed to make with the Scorpio energy, things become toxic. That's why I tell people a lot of times Scorpio is not necessarily toxic if you understand how the energy works and you work with it. What makes Scorpio toxic is the fact that you don't acknowledge it, you don't understand it, and you fight. It's like you swimming upstream, right? The change is going to come anyway. You're going to get beat down. It's like you might as well just embrace it and accept it and pace yourself as you go through it so that it's not as harsh for you, right? So with the Scorpio North Node, South Node being in your ninth house, you're constantly changing your philosophical views, your spiritual views, or religious views based on your experience. So you could be going through that right now. Your 10th house, we got Sag. We don't have any major planets there affecting that, so we're going to move on to your 11th house where you got Pluto at. And that house is your Capricorn house. Now, Pluto's in retrograde there. We're dealing with a lot of retrograde planets, like I was saying. Pluto's just another one. Pluto deals with power struggles between you and your internal demons, right? It also deals with power struggles between you and the people that you're dealing with and the power dynamics, you know, keeping things balanced, aligned so that you get what you want out of the situation, and they get what they want, and they're not overpowering you and you're not overpowering them. So when Pluto's in retrograde, you're looking at those power dynamics as in, okay, who has more power in this area of your life? This area of your life is the 11th house that has to do with your friendships, the people you connect with on a social level, the organizations that you join, your fraternities, your sororities, your baseball team, your chess team, your golf, your golf club, any group that gets together for one common cause, no matter what that cause is, that's like an organization or a group that you participate in because you're with like-minded individuals. This also deals with your popularity. So for some of you, that's coming out in a very Capricornian way, where there's some restriction there, there's some rules that you're putting in place because you're going through a transformation with that Pluto retrograde. Pluto also deals with death and rebirth. So what you're looking at with Pluto retrograde is, okay, when it comes to my friends and the groups and the organizations that I'm involved with, which ones are transforming my life in a positive way? Which ones are transforming my life in a negative way? And if it's either positive or negative, what restrictions do I have in place that are keeping it from being transformed in a positive way? Or what restrictions should I put in place to keep it from transforming it in a negative way? Should I end up just killing the connection altogether? Because that's what Pluto energy does with the death and rebirth. Should I kill the social connection altogether? Have I outgrown this group? Or do I feel like this group is consuming, or the responsibility of this group or this friendship is consuming? It's too life consuming. It's taking up too much energy or too much negative space in my life, and I need to cut back from it. I need to back off from it. So some of you are going to be looking at your friendships like that. And again, I feel like this has a direct relation to your first house with Neptune in retrograde there, and your second house, which is your house of self-esteem, self-worth. What I feel like is going on with you, Pisces, is that you're really just reviewing the relationships that you're in. You're looking at analyzing everybody, with your seventh house being with Mercury there in Virgo. You're analyzing every relationship you're having. You're looking at the connection between you all, what you understand about these relationships, the way you guys connect and why you connect that way, and if you should cut these people off or if you should keep dealing with them. I feel like that's what you're going to be dealing with this month. That's what a lot of us are going to be dealing with, but in your own way, that's what you are going to be experiencing. So with your 12th house, that's the house of your subconscious energy. You know that house because you rule it, right? So that's your Aquarius house. You have Saturn in retrograde there. Saturn is another energy of restriction, okay? Discipline. Knowing when time is up for something, knowing when it's time to move on, right? And so with this in your subconscious energy, you may not realize it, but there are energies working in your life that are putting you in position to really stop and say, I need to put a hold on it, because this is your Aquarius house. So again, this is dealing with the people you socialize with, for forward movement, forward growth. So again, this is just the energy reiterating the fact that you are going to be reviewing the connections that you're in, seeing if you've outgrown them, because Saturn in retrograde will tell you you've outgrown something. It's time to move on, right? And it'll tell you to put restrictions on things. And so this is coming out in an Aquarian way, which is like your social life, how you socialize. Also, it's coming an Aquarian way, in a sense where it's like, okay, you know, for the longevity of the relationship, should I continue to deal with this person? Is there positive longevity? Is this a relationship that's going to last? Is this something I want to last? If so, then let me continue to move on with it. Where you're going to be getting these messages and determining this, though, is in your dreams, because the 12th house deals with the dream state, your creative imagination. So sometimes you might, you know, zone out and meditate, and you might get some thoughts and views about the people you associate with, what you want to do, how long you've been friends with these people, are they people you want to continue to associate with, so on and so forth. So in a nutshell, that's some of the things that you're going to be thinking about this month. Again, if this doesn't resonate right now, come back at the end of the month, check it out, see if any of the things that I said in here resonate with you. And if you want a personalized reading, whether it's a natal chart reading or a tarot card reading, reach out. My information's in the box below. If you want to connect more on the tarot card reading side of things, make sure you subscribe to Many Styles. That's my other channel with the regular tarot card readings. And I'll be working on those after I get done with these. I got, 4 more signs to do here, and then I'll be doing those. So I'll probably be doing those all weekend. So make sure you subscribe to Many Styles. Hit the notification bell. That way you'll know when I post the God and Goddesses readings, the Silent Enemies readings, and the True Intentions readings over on that side of things. All right, so with that being said, I'm going to wrap this up. Let me know in the comments if you see any glitches or hear any glitches in the sound or in the video. I'm just curious because I've gotten that in the past, and I just want to make sure that that energy has stopped. And if not, I'll figure out what I can do. All right, so don't forget to subscribe to the notification bell. Thanks for visiting the channel. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next reading. Deuces, Pisces.